get you just to have a seat here. Would you like me?
You can take my handcuffs off.
What's that?
Can you take my handcuffs off?
As soon as the detective gets in here, Detective Flores, he can take those off for you. I think that's what he told you anyway, that he'd allow you to have your handcuffs on.
Okay, let me get those off, yeah. Can you stand up for me? Face down. I'm gonna get you a bottle of water.
Thank you. Any chance you could get my purse?
Yeah, we'll get that from the house.
Will they bring it to me?
It'll probably be put in your property. There's water for you.
Do you want one for yourself?
Yeah, you can be fine. Let's go.
Maybe we could turn the heat up in here. Or like, do you have a sweater I can borrow or something?
I don't have any sweaters. I'll see if I can turn it off. It's hard to control the heat in this building.
That's fine.
Sure I don't lock myself in here.
Yeah.
So you remember me?
Of course I do.
I traveled all the way up here to come talk to you. You know, I've been working on Travis's case ever since it happened. Okay, and I know exactly when it happened, when he was killed. I know a lot of details, and just recently we found quite a bit of evidence, and I'll discuss that with you. Pressure you.
Is this recorded at all, or should we?
Yeah, I don't know if there's a recording or something.
I don't know if these are voice recorders. I noticed them. If they have video, or if they have audio, or batteries, or what.
I don't think they're on.
They're really cool.
It's okay.
You still.
Yeah, I haven't touched those or anything, but
Oh, okay.
I mean, they're not on, so what I want to do is just get to the bottom of it. Everybody wants to know, okay? And you know, so I'm going to ask you some questions. You can voluntarily answer them if you want.
I've been kind of in a daze, at least for the first few weeks.
Like everybody, you know.
Yeah. I know that a lot of people have been posting on Facebook really nice things, you know, and memories, and at one point I was like, well, maybe I should do that. So I posted this thing and I just said all my memories, and I realized looking back on it that it kind of sounded immature. It's more like my Dear Travis kind of letter. And so I took it down because...
More personal?
Yeah, some of it was detailed, a little bit more personal. Not too personal, nothing inappropriate. Felt funny. I think because I'm a photographer, I tend to communicate more through pictures, so I posted a ton of pictures that I had of him, and I have a ton more that I just can't access right now, and videos and things that I know his family would want. But
And I've talked to a lot of people, and everybody's pointing a finger at you.
I know.
You know, everybody is saying, I don't understand what happened to Travis. I don't know who killed him. But you need to look at Jodi. And sometimes the simplest answers are the correct ones. And that's one of the reasons I started looking at you a little bit closer. Obviously you weren't boyfriend and girlfriend anymore, but you were still having a sexual relationship, which,
Does his family know about that? Just curious.
No, his family doesn't know anything. Yeah.
I'm interested in protecting how he's remembered as well, and you know, he was.
Well, I'm sure if Travis could speak right now, he wouldn't care what people thought about him. And for some reason, he felt that the relationship between you and him was somewhat unhealthy, but he couldn't stop it.
I missed out on just their karate or their baseball or cheerleading or just whatever. And my dad is not doing well. He doesn't think he has very long to live, but he always says that. It's been that way for like a decade. He's still here, thank goodness. My grandparents aren't getting any younger, and I just have an awesome family. And I wanted to be able to just be here for a little bit and regroup financially. I owe my parents a lot of money, and I owe my grandparents a lot of money, and I owe friends money. And yes, I'm Christian. I just live my life by the 10 Commandments, and those are my rules. thou shalt not this or that, but it doesn't say thou shalt not fornicate. So I just used to joke about that. Jodi, will you say a prayer? And I said, sure. And Travis was like, anyway, I didn't want to argue with them. So, anyway, what was I saying?
Well, he did have, girlfriends here or there, and he was at a point in his life where he wanted to really start settling down. He felt like he needed to kind of grow up, become a husband, become a father. That time had come, and he felt that time had come and gone, and he was falling behind.
Once we broke up, he brought it up. He actually proposed to me a lot of times, but he wasn't serious. I think he was serious once, and it was when we broke up. And that was really hard because we were on the phone, and it was just like none of that stuff should be done on the phone anyway, but I was hundreds of miles away. And I told him that I loved him. We didn't say I love you during our relationship, but we said it afterward. It was weird.
Okay.
I actually moved to Mesa a few weeks after we broke up.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I mean, as far as the timeline goes.
During that time that he was seeing Lisa, did you continue to see him as well?
Yeah, and I didn't know that he was seeing her.
Okay.
I was still living with Rachel over on Greenfield.
Okay.
Before, when that started. And he sent me this picture, and he's like, this is your uniform, have it by Friday or Thursday or whatever. And it was this French made thing. I was like, no.
Yeah, that's him. Typical.
Yeah.
Like I said, he's a very flirty guy, and
He is.
obviously the Rachel relation, or not
Lisa?
Lisa relationship didn't work out, and then there was a time period he really wasn't seeing anybody, and then Mimi came into the picture. What did you think about her? And
I didn't know a lot about her. She seems like a really nice girl. He showed me her picture on Facebook, He said that he's not sure why, but he's pretty sure that she could be it. And I was happy for him. I didn't find out about Lisa until after we had this conversation where we decided to all just come clean. And that was quite a conversation. Because I was never unfaithful, but when we started dating, that timeline around February. The reason I remember February is because he had told me in December, go date other people kind of thing. And so I did, saying something to the effect like, I wouldn't want my sister to date you. Why do you kiss Jodi in the dark and then act like you guys aren't even together in the daytime? Things like that.
That's a good statement, because that kind of sums up the relationship that you had with him. It seems like he liked you, he loved you. He wanted to be with you, but he was reluctant to make a commitment, first off. And truly, he didn't think that you were marriage material. Moving over to his trip to Cancun that he was going to. When did you first find out about that he was going with Mimi?
I found out about that at his memorial services on Monday. It was the Monday night memorial service.
So you didn't know that he was going to Cancun?
I knew he was going, yeah.
Okay. You didn't know he was taking Mimi?
I didn't know that. I think that's awesome, actually.
Yeah. Well, unfortunately, Mimi had called him a week or two before, and I told him, look, if you want to take somebody else, it's fine, but I have something to tell you. I don't look at you that way. I don't look at you as a boyfriend. If you want to be friends, we can be friends. And that really broke his heart.
I know. If I had just cut ties completely, I could probably be married right now. I could probably be working on my own family.
What kept you there?
Too.
What kept you to him? I don't understand.
Well, moving is expensive, for one. So once I was there, I was kind of stuck there.
But why do you continue to go back to him? You know what he wants. You know that it's not healthy. But yet you continue to go back. And it brings us to this point where we are now. And obviously you guys kept this relationship hidden from everybody else, and because nobody really knew about it.
Well,
there were some people who I talked to and said, yeah, they continued to have a relationship even after they broke up. And there are others who were saying that you had become obsessive with him to the point to where you would going to his house when he wasn't there, or when you weren't invited, and he would talk to people saying, you know, she just kind of showed up, and I don't want to tell her to leave, but you know, I don't want her here.
Oh, must have been early on, because there were a couple times when we established a rule early on, just don't come over unless, he said, you can come over anytime, but I need to know first.
Yes.
He's like, you just never know if there's.
Because you ran into somebody one time, right? Didn't you run into like one of his ex-girlfriends as well, or was it Deanna that you ran into?
Oh yeah, well that was okay that I was there. He asked me to stay there and be with Napoleon. It's like I got full house privileges. I could sleep in the bed, I could eat, food.
And I've talked to her, and she said that was kind of an unusual kind of situation. She didn't expect you to be there.
She didn't at all. And so at first I was like, well, and he's like, I talked to her about it. He's like, but I'll tell you what, I was on the phone for 3 hours with her. She was freaking out that you were there.
I think there's some other things that you're not telling me. I think maybe the jealousy probably continued even after the fact that you moved away. There's still 20 some odd hours, even if you pulled over to sleep a couple of times.
Oh, did I tell you that I got stranded?
Yeah,
Okay.
you mentioned that. If you slept for 10 hours
I only slept for about
here
8
and
hours.
here, it would still leave 18 some odd hours. And do I believe that you had come to visit Travis? Yes. Did you have the opportunity? Yes. You were traveling alone. There's no other witnesses. Your phone just happened to turn off from here to here.
Well, I didn't turn it off physically, but it died.
And then it magically, you found your charger here?
It was packed under the seat of the passenger side. And it was when I was...
When you were lost, you couldn't have maybe pulled over and found it? Or?
Well, I did finally start looking when I was stranded. I wouldn't have pulled over when I was lost.
Were you at Travis's house on Wednesday?
Absolutely not. I was nowhere near Mesa. I was nowhere near Phoenix.
What if I could show you proof you were there?
I wasn't there. I was not at Travis's house. I was not.
You were at Travis's house. You guys had a sexual encounter, which there's pictures. And I know you know there's pictures because I have them. I will show them to you. Okay? So, what I'm asking you is for you to be honest with me.
Are you sure those pictures aren't from another time?
Remember I told you about the camera?
Mm-hmm.
That camera was damaged. Someone put it in a washing machine, ran it through a wash cycle with some clothes of Travis's, but the card's intact. Remember I told you that card was destroyed? I didn't want to tell you the truth. And we can pull deleted photos. I don't care if you delete them. And I have pictures of you in Travis's bedroom with Travis, pictures of him, and it's obvious you guys are having sex, and they're dated and time-stamped on the day he died.
Are you sure it's me? I mean, that because I was
Jodi,
not there.
It's you. And you know it's you.
I've never
Why,
hurt
Jodi?
Travis.
You did. You hurt him. That's why we're here. That's why I flew up here. I want to know why. Why did you do this to him?
I wouldn't hurt Travis. He's done so much for me.
There's so much evidence in that house. So much, and it all points to you.
Can I see the pictures?
We have your blood. Your left palm print at the scene. In blood.
Can you take a hair sample? And
We have your DNA.
No, but I mean, like, you know how they could do drug tests and find out when things were done?
We have DNA matching that hair to you.
Okay, I know, but
And that hair had a follicle on it. And that means that that hair wasn't there very long. The follicle will usually dissipate and go away. You either had blood on your hand and you touched the wall, or there was blood on the wall and you touched the blood.
Could my palm print have already been there and then blood touched it?
Jodi. Jodi, this is over. This is absolutely over.
Listen, the truth is I did not hurt Travis.
You guys reported a gun stolen. 25 auto. Just happens to be the same caliber as the weapon used to kill him.
A .25 auto was used to kill Travis.
Yeah, along with multiple stab wounds. If you want, I can show you some pictures of him. Do you want to see pictures of him?
Part of me does and part of me doesn't.
Why? Because you don't want to remember?
No, I
Jodi.
just, there's a morbid curiosity.
Jodi,
I wanted to know how he died.
we can keep playing these games over and over again. I'm not going to believe you. Saving the rest of your life is...
Listen, if I'm found guilty, I don't have a life. I'm not guilty. I didn't hurt Travis. If I hurt Travis, if I killed Travis, I would beg for the death penalty.
Was there anybody else with you?
If I had that evidence against you, it'd
Yeah.
be pretty obvious. But I guess being in my position, it just seems so impossible. I'd want to see it. I'd want to know. I mean, I'm not a murderer, but I guess if I were to do that, I would wear gloves or, something.
There's pictures of you laying on the bed in pigtails.
Pigtails?
Yes. And I've got pictures of you that I've blown up, and you've got the little mole right there. It's the same one. It's you. It's obvious. The motive is there. The jealousy issue. Well, they know he was jealous, but they think that you are absolutely obsessed. Obsessed is the word that they use. That's the word I hear from everybody. Fatal attraction. I don't know how many times I've heard that. Look at Jodi. Jodi had to have done this, or she got someone to do it for him. There's not one person that says anything else. Why is that? That's the perception they have of you. And there's a reason for that perception. Maybe because it's true.
I didn't even know that there were guns until my grandparents reported it stolen the day that their house was broken into.
When was that?
I don't remember. It was a few months ago, maybe.
I'll be right back.
I'm not a murderer. Just curious.
It's a Glock.
I just bought a gun.
Did you? You probably found it by now.
Probably. I was taking it somewhere.
These are just a few photos.
If Travis were here today, he would tell you that it wasn't me.
That's you. And I wanted to cover you up because
Oh,
that's you. All of you.
that looks like me.
That is you.
This is his bathroom. That is not my foot.
These are your pants. It's a different color, like I said, because we had to enhance it and the color changes. The zipper back.
I have both of those pants at home. If these are the same one. I don't have a zipper there, though. Not on mine. And this is a black stripe, and this is white, and the black goes around the bottom, too.
Couldn't even recognize Travis. He'd been there so long. It's killing me inside. I don't know why.
Like, there's no reason for it. There's no reason why. There's no reason I would ever want to hurt him. If I was going to ever try to kill somebody, I would use gloves. I've got plenty of them.
Nobody said you were, you had planned this out perfectly. Maybe you were going there to just talk to him, have a good time with him. Something got out of hand.
If I'm found
That's not
guilty, what
true.
happens?
You don't have to pay the price.
Well, what's the price?
I don't know.
Don't you know what the sentences are? The sentences that are carried for something?
It depends on your situation, and that's it.
I just can't imagine. Really, for things like, I'm all for the 10 Commandments, thou shalt not kill.
No
I'm
evidence of
just
it.
saying that if I were to carry out something like that, I would have worn gloves. I've got a whole box of them.
Nobody else did this. There's no evidence to show that anybody else did this but you. Did you have anything to do with the death of Travis?
I don't think I had anything directly to do with it, but I feel responsible somewhat for it. What would my reason possibly be?
There's a whole history of you two,
But
and everybody knows it.
I have a whole history with other guys that
Why
go back years.
is everybody saying that you had something to do with his death? Why is everybody saying that you were capable of hurting him? Have you ever had any anger issues before? Never in your past?
I've had arguments. Travis.
Well, everybody has arguments. I'm talking about anger. Just absolute anger. Where you lose it sometimes.
No, I had a nervous breakdown once. Well, I had a nervous breakdown when a boyfriend and I were arguing once, and every time I'd say something, he was like, blah, blah, It was kind of weird. Like, every time I tried to formulate a thought, and I was just sad and I was crying, every time I tried to formulate a thought, he would interject and twist it, and it was like the weirdest psychological thing that had ever happened. And other than arguments, no anger issues that I can remember. I kicked a dog once. I was a freshman in high school. I just kicked him with my right foot, and he just moved a few feet, and he didn't yelp or anything, but he ran away, and I never saw him again after that. And I mean, that's probably an anger issue, I guess. But
Well, one time kicking a dog is not an anger issue.
it changed my world as far as animal treatment goes, because I've never seen him since. And I need to apologize for that to him. I know it sounds weird, my relationship with animals. It's kind of like they're like people too, they have souls.
What you need to do is you need to apologize to Travis. But you just refuse.
Listen,
I can't help you anymore if you're not
I don't know why. I had issues with Travis. If anything, he had more issues with me. I've had worse issues with other people. They're all still alive. I'm still friends with my ex-boyfriends. They're all still alive.
I've been doing this a long time. You're just not acting right, Jodi. You're acting like somebody who's guilty.
How so? Is it because I'm not crying?
No. You're
No,
acting.
I mean, I am who I am.
Okay, you're sincere in the way you're acting.
Well, how is
You're just not telling the truth.
How is it different?
Well, it's not really something you need to focus on anymore. I think you need to focus on the truth, but it's something that you refuse. What prevented you from moving on? Nobody was preventing you from moving on.
Well, the only person preventing me really from moving on was myself. I haven't found the man that I want to marry, the person I want to spend my life with. But in my mind, Travis did, and I was happy for him, and I thought there was also a part of me that felt, if I stay, I'm going to jeopardize that for him as well. We both deserve to be happy. It's not that I'm not remorseful that he died. I didn't kill him. I didn't take his life.
Did you have anything to do with it?
I had
It's like
nothing
me too.
to do with his death at all. At all. The reason I hesitate is because maybe this is something that's wrong with me psychologically, is I think of the butterfly effect. And it's like, you could say that the guy pumping gas down at the gas station could have potentially, because you see all these movies, these funky movies where it's like this affected this, which affected this, which affected this, if he had never done this.
I know if you had never met him, he'd probably still be alive.
That's true.
Yeah, but that's because you killed him.
No.
Jodi, you did.
I did not.
Jodi.
I just can't admit to something that I didn't do. If it would help my case and give me an easier sentence, I know that people plead guilty for those things.
No, and I don't want you to do that. That is the absolute last thing I want.
There's just no reason. There's just no reason.
There's no good reason why this happened. There's never a good reason why somebody dies like this.
How many times was Travis stabbed?
More than I want to remember. Jodi, we're here now.
No, I'm just feeling all of the things that I'm going to potentially miss out on with my family, and I think of all the things that Travis's family is going to miss out on with Travis. And he had brothers and sisters, and I have brothers and sisters. And it's not fair.
It's not fair, but this is where we are.
I mean, I know that he's in a good place, and I know that he's fine. I know that he's doing great. But what about all of his friends, all of his family that are here, and they're just going through all of this, and I know that it's temporary, but it's so very much right now.
You don't look like the person that would plan something like this. You're just not that person. I can believe other things, but not that. But without the truth, I can't paint another picture. And it's going to be up to the prosecutor to paint that picture. And if you want that prosecutor, and I've met him, and you don't want him painting that picture, because he is good at what he does. I've worked with him before. And you allow him to paint that picture for you, it's not going to be good.
It looks like you don't even need a good prosecutor anyway. So, I mean,
You're right.
I have to maintain my innocence. Part of me wants to cop out and say it.
No.
Well,
If you're gonna cop out, it's because you're telling the truth.
there's just no
Well, I
reason.
have more work to do.
So it's all public now?
It's public record.
So does everyone know?
If somebody goes on, checks public record, they can check it. And they would come up with an indictment against you for murder.
But it's going to be on the news tonight.
We don't report anything to the news.
I've been wanting to call every day too. I didn't want to look obsessive, so I just tried to limit it to once a week. This is a really trivial question, and it's going to reveal how shallow I am. But before they book me, can I clean myself up a little bit?
You're gonna be taken the way you are. I can't give you anything else.
How soon?
I don't know.
Like 5 minutes? 2
I would
hours?
say within an hour. Okay, it could be 5 minutes, it could be 50 minutes. I need to go talk to my associates here.
Do I have to go in handcuffs everywhere?
Mhm.
That's just procedure.
Okay, let me see if there's somebody to take me to the restroom.
It's not too urgent, but like maybe within the next 10 minutes I really will need to go. Should have at least done your makeup, Jodi. Gosh. didn't hear you breathe. I wonder how am I still here. And I don't wanna lose a thing. It might change my memory. And I won't go. And I can't breathe until you're resting here with me. And I won't go. You breathe. Oh, holy night, stars are brightly shining. This is the day of our dear Savior's birth. He knows our needs.
Here's your shoes. Why don't you go ahead and put those on? Your hands behind your back.
No.
You need this paperwork over, and then